Hello! I'm Elaine, and I'm a tour guide in the French Quarter. I do ghost tours. And I am not going to tell you the stories that I tell on my tour, because you gotta pay for those. But if you want to hear some interesting things that have happened to me while I'm leading random drunk people around the French Quarter, I got you. I have had an eventful couple of weeks as a tour guide, but annoyingly, I haven't felt like any of it has been stories worth telling, because all of it just boils down to it's too damn hot out there. I'm recording this early August, and the heat index today got up to 120. The heat index yesterday was 117, and the day before that I think was only 113. But needless to say, that means the tours are sort of painful, because yes, even in weather this hot, there are people coming on tours, and of course, complaining about how hot it is. And I'm sitting here like, dude, you do realize I would not be out here if it weren't for the fact that you paid to come on this tour. I could be home in the AC worrying about how I'm going to pay for my AC. But no, we're out there doing tours, and most of my weekend has mostly just been making sure my guests remain upright, which is not always super easy. I've had a couple of guests do that thing where they suddenly go sheet white and are leaning back against a building, and you're going, that person's about to pass out. And all you can really do is sort of fan them and pray that they don't go down. And if someone in the group has, if someone in their group has water, they can offer them water, but it's a bit weird for me to offer my water that I've been drinking from all night, and also I need it because, yeah, I passed out last week in the middle of a story. Just suddenly everything went vague, and the hilarious thing about this is I did not think I was about to go down. I was just like, give me a minute, I need to take a sip of water. And one of my guests looked at me and said, do you need to sit down? And I was like, no, I don't. Yes, I do. And I was on the ground and couldn't see, and for a few seconds couldn't hear, and everything went black, and then maybe 2 minutes later I was perfectly fine, so I got my ass up and finished the tour. Though I will say, I said I was perfectly fine. Truthfully, no. I was shaking like a leaf, barely staying upright, and everything kept going fuzzy. And you know that fun thing where suddenly there's black around your vision as if you're staring down a tunnel? Yeah, that was most of the rest of the tour. But the good news is it then started pouring down rain, which helped a lot, but that was also probably why I passed out, because the sudden change in pressure knocked me down. But this weekend has not been passing out, because I got salt tablets and I've been doing good. Instead, it's just been puking from heat exhaustion after each tour. But I've mostly been able to handle it. But I have had a couple of interesting guests, and it's only in retrospect when I look back at it, I'm like, oh, that was sort of funny. One of the ones who actually was having the worst trouble staying up for the heat, and I know good and well part of the reason was because she was wearing long pants, not shorts, which are the correct decision in this weather, and these looked like polyester, and I'm like, don't wear polyester in this kind of heat. But the good news is her top was a lot lighter. She was wearing a lace bra top that I think was actually just a bra. And, I'm not sure if she just did not care anymore because of how hot it was, or if she just hadn't looked at herself in strong light. But it was completely transparent. I could see everything. And I just spent, the first 10 minutes of that tour being don't look at her nipples, don't look at her nipples, don't look at her nipples. But the good news is I spent the latter half of the tour just going, don't pass out, don't pass out. So that's better, right? But there was also the guest that, he was one of those guests that honestly, he would not have irritated me in the least if I weren't already overheated. And when I'm overheated, I struggle not to hate the universe. But he was just one of those guys that I don't know, something rubbed me the wrong way, but we were walking between stops, and he was the one up front talking to me, and we were talking about the weather, because objectively, when you have a heat index of 120, the weather is what you talk about. But I was mentioning how hot it is in the afternoon, but at least it's better than it was in the, midday, and he was like, oh, well, yeah, I was out there at 10 a.m. waiting in line to go into the aquarium. And I was like, yeah, that sounds bad. And he was like, and it was like the shortest little tour ever once I got inside. And I was like, oh, you took a guided tour through the aquarium? I didn't know they offered those. And he was like, no, I mean, just like going through the aquarium. It was really short. And I was just sitting there trying not to say it, but like, dude, the aquarium is not short. It's a big aquarium. It's a nice aquarium. If it's really short, it's because you didn't bother stopping and reading any of the information or actually looking at the fucking fish. But what I did say was like, oh, okay, well, I haven't been to the aquarium since the recent renovations, so... And he was like, that was renovated? And luckily that was the moment his wife, like, realized that he was being a bit of an asshole and pulled him to the back of the group so that somebody else could be up front and chat with me. Because it was too damn hot out there for me to be defending the honor of the Audubon Aquarium. But yeah, so please just look at the temperature before you come on tours in New Orleans in the summer and be prepared. Sometimes the heat index is a bit much. And also, don't look at the temperature, look at the damn heat index.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and feel free to share your own experiences in the comments below.